You're walking in Rio de Janeiro and you see this. That's weird. Maybe some kids did it. You keep walking, but now some strange guys are watching you, like you don't belong there. Your gut screams, run. So you do. Turns out you were right. Now, most of the time, shoes on power lines are just, well, shoes. They might be up there as some part of a game. I mean, some people throw them up just because someone else did it first. But sometimes it's a warning, especially in areas controlled by bad guys or in neighborhoods known to be unsafe. The shoes can mark territory or hint that some shady activity is going on there, but police usually say that's just an urban legend. True or not, it's probably a good idea to leave if you see shoes hanging like that. Stay alert and use caution, but whatever you do, don't try to take them down yourself. That's really dangerous. They can be way up high or even electrified. Instead, call the local authorities. They'll know what to do. This is a totally different situation from finding colored balls hanging on power lines. Those strange spheres actually have a very important purpose, saving lives, like yours or mine. They're called marker balls or visibility markers. Their job is to show where power lines are so low-flying aircraft can steer clear of them. That's why they have bright colors like orange, yellow, or white. But which color they use also depends on the background. For example, in snowy mountain areas, you might see orange, so it stands out against the white. And in green landscapes, white is often used so pilots can see them clearly. Speaking of green spaces, have you ever noticed a weird piece of metal wrapped around a tree? Those are called baffles, and no, they're not there to hold the tree together. They're there to protect both the tree and our homes. The slick surface of the metal makes it tough for small creatures to climb the tree. That way, they can't nest there or reach the higher branches that lead straight to your roof or attic. But does it actually work? Well, that's up for debate. Clever squirrels usually find a way around these tricks. Still, many experts think it's worth a try. Now, if you spot a purple paint mark, that means one thing. Keep out. That's right. If you see a tree trunk, a fence post, or even some random surface painted purple, it's the landowner's way of saying no trespassing. Another get-out sign is finding a USB phone charger in a hotel room. More specifically, one of those little charging cubes. Some of them don't just charge your phone, they also film you. Don't believe me? Just search USB cube camera on Google, and you'll find dozens of models. They're often sold as spy devices, since they let people secretly record others. So if you ever find one in your hotel room, don't take chances, leave right away, and report it to the authorities. Now, finding chewed gum stuck to your car is gross, sure, but it could mean that you've been targeted. Some people with bad intentions might use gum as a sign to mark vehicles, like showing that it has valuables inside or it looks easy to break into. So the best thing you can do is avoid giving them the chance. Park in well-lit, busy, and secure areas whenever you can. Something similar happens if you find a disgusting pile of kidney beans on your doorstep. Two possibilities: it's either a weird Halloween prank, or your house could be endangered. People with bad intentions may use it to figure out if anyone's home. If the mess stays there for a couple of days, they assume no one's around, and that's when they might decide to break in. So if you ever see something like that, clean it up right away. Speaking of hidden signs, did you know that itinerant workers used to leave secret messages for each other? Meet the hobo code. So hobos were traveling workers in the U.S., and they moved around from town to town during hard times. No one knows exactly where or how their code started, but it became really popular in the early 1900s. Back then, mysterious symbols like these were scratched into fences, sidewalks, or even houses. Some signs were easy to figure out, since they looked a lot like their meaning. For example, a drawing of a top hat meant a wealthy man lives here. Simple, right? But others, well, you'd probably just scratch your head. Luckily, hobos shared the meanings during their brief encounters, like a secret club with its own language. And that's probably how the roughly 50 known symbols were passed along. The whole idea was to help each other out, like showing the way to clean water or a hot meal. 3 lines, for example, meant a good place to camp, and a cat was code for a kind woman lives here. But some of them were warnings. This sign, for example, supposedly meant strictly hostile town, get out as quickly as possible. Hopefully nobody missed the memo on that one. Weird symbols on the streets aren't just a thing of the past. Take a walk and really look around. You'll spot spray-painted codes hiding in plain sight on roads and sidewalks. But these days, they serve a much more practical purpose. You see, many companies have the right to dig up roads and highways, and knowing what lies beneath the surface is super important, because one mistake can be both dangerous and expensive. That's where these codes come in. Red lines, for example, mark where electricity cables run. White paint is used more like a sticky note. It can show advice, measurements, or instructions for where road markings should go. What looks like an incomplete infinity sign, for example, can show where a road scheme starts or ends. There's also this mark that looks like a crocodile's open mouth. It marks where a painted line should separate cars going in opposite directions. Now, in Stockholm, you might notice something curious. Look closely at the buildings in the Old Town, and you'll spot a phoenix rising from the flames above a doorway. Across the street, there's another, and then another. Pretty soon, you realize they're everywhere. These phoenix symbols date back to the 1740s, and they had one purpose: to show that the building was insured against fire. Back then, if flames spread through the city, the brigade would rush first to the houses marked with the phoenix. That's not how it works anymore, but the symbols are still there today. Now, in Kyoto, you might notice red buckets sitting in front of houses, and they're filled with water. So if a fire breaks out, the whole neighborhood can grab the buckets and work together to put it out. This actually makes a lot of sense, because fires can spread quickly in areas where wooden houses stand so close together. Of course, they have fire extinguishers too, modern ones, but the buckets have become such a tradition that you'll often see them placed right next to the extinguishers. From hidden codes on the streets to bakeries. That's right, these colorful twist ties that keep our bread protected and fresh actually hide a little secret. Each color shows the day of the week the bread was baked. Blue means Monday, green is Tuesday, red is Thursday, white is Friday, and yellow is Saturday. And yep, Wednesday and Sunday are skipped because bakers need days off too. Before you think, I'm never going to memorize that, don't worry. The colors actually go in alphabetical order, so it's easy to remember. Sure, not every bakery does it, but when they do, it's an easy way to get the freshest bread on the shelf. So, at the end of the day, the world around us is full of little signs, and knowing them could actually be a lifesaver. Don't forget to share this video with your friends so they can stay safe in tricky situations, or at the very least, become absolute experts at picking out the best bread. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.